everyone. Have a nice day to you all. So, in our day-to-day life, we do various types of work, so many works. Not only us, the animals and the machines in the factories and the machines in our home do so many work. What are these works? Think about these works you are doing in your day-to-day life. You are walking, running and jumping, riding a bicycle and running a vehicle, and also what are those things? Lifting weight and rotating fans and washing clothes and pulling weights. So many works. You are doing so many works in day-to-day life. So you need energy to do this work. We need energy. So today we are going to learn about this energy. The 7th lesson of science, forms of energy and its uses. Forms of energy and its uses. So we'll see what are these energy, forms of energy. First of all, you have to do one thing. Take out your textbook, page number 87. You have to do an assignment 7.1. Give 5 examples for instances of doing work in day-to-day life. You have to do what are the things you are doing in your day-to-day life. So these are the things you can read and write. Now we are going to do an activity. Activity 7.1. It is in your textbook. Page number 87 and 88. 88, that's the picture you can see. Here you have to take what? A bicycle tube. A bicycle tube is better, or otherwise you can use a stretching thing like a rubber band or elastic tape you can use, but a bicycle tube is better. Then you have to stretch it as much as possible. You have to stretch. So here a rubber band, this rubber band, 2 rubber bands. So stretch. We have to stretch this. So while stretching, so here I am pulling this rubber band into both sides. So you can see the length of the rubber band is increasing. Here the length of the rubber band is increasing. So why? What's the reason? Because I am pulling. Here I am doing a work. I am pulling this rubber band. So what should I apply to stretch this rubber band? That is energy. I have to use my energy to do this work. I have to use my energy to stretch this rubber band. You can try it. Now let's go to second activity. Second activity. Activity 7.2. We need a laboratory stand and 1 meter length of thread and a stone. So we have to hang this stone by using the thread like this, and we have to tie this in the laboratory stand. Then we have to give a small push to this stone. We have to give small push. So what will happen? The stone will move to both sides. Here, here and here. You can see the motion, the movement of the stone. So what did we apply? We apply some push. That means we apply small energy to this stone. That's why the stone is moving. So here we use a push, and in the previous practical, to stretch the rubber band we use a pull. Pull or push. Pull and push. Pull me adino and push me තල්ලු කරනවා. So simply doing work mean pulling or pushing. Pull or push. We can call a work. Now you know the work mean a pull or a push. But there should be a movement after pulling or pushing. If there is no movement after pulling or pushing, there is no work. So work means a pull or a push resulting a movement of an object. There should be a movement after pulling or pushing. So to do this work, we need what? We need energy. So energy means ability to do work. Ability to do work. කාර්ය කිරීමේ හැකියාව. We call it energy. So we use international unit joule for measuring energy. This is joule, capital J. Now you know to perform a work, we need energy. Energy is necessary to perform a work. So to increase the amount of work, we need to increase the energy also. Otherwise, we cannot increase the amount of work. We need high amount of energy to do high amount of work. So we have to identify what are these forms of energy. There are various types of forms of energy. Let's see what are those forms of energy. Activity 7.3, page number 89 in your textbook. Identify various forms of energy. Here to do this activity we need, what are the need? What are the equipment? Some equipment. We need electric bulb, a wall clock, a greeting card, a birthday card, and bicycle dynamo, radio set, dry cells, a winding toy, battery toy, and electric motor. First one is electric bulb. So here in second column you have to write main form of energy used to equipment work. What is the main form of energy to equipment work? Third column, other forms of energy created. So in first example, electric bulb. So to work this electric bulb, we need electricity. You know this thing. In our electricity lesson, we have discussed about forms of electricity. So here we need electricity to work electric bulb. Then other forms of energy created. So when we switch on the bulb, light energy is created, isn't it? And also after some time the bulb will heat. So we can write heat energy also. The heat energy also created when working the bulb. So here electricity is needed to work in the bulb. After working the bulb, light energy and heat energy is created. Understood? Then second one, wall clock. Wall clock, you know wall clock. We use electric cells to this wall clock. So electric cells generate electricity. So wall clock is working by using electricity. So the main form of energy used to equipment work is electricity. What are the other forms of energy created after working this wall clock? The clock has hands, 2 or 3 hands. So when working the clock, the hands are rotating. So this is the clock. So in this clock, there are 2 hands. These 2 hands are rotating when working the clock. So we called it kinetic energy. Kinetic energy means chalaka shaktiya. So when working this clock, there is a movement, rotation, move. That means a movement. So when working some equipment, if there is a movement, rotation or movement, we called it kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is created. So when working wall clock, kinetic energy and sound energy is created. Then the greeting card. You know there are musical birthday cards and greeting cards. We need electricity to work this greeting card. Then what are the other energies created? You can hear a sound, the birthday song, and also there will be some lights. So light energy is also created. So when working the greeting card, sound energy and light energy is created. Then bicycle dynamo. We discussed about bicycle dynamo in the previous lesson, in our electricity lesson. You know, we need to ride the bicycle to work the bicycle dynamo. That means we need riding the bicycle. There is a movement. That means kinetic energy. We need kinetic energy to work a dynamo. Then what are the other energies created? That is electricity. Electricity is generated. Electric energy. So bulb is lighting when we are riding the bicycle. So light energy is also created. Light energy. Then radio set. To work the radio set, we need, electricity. Normally we need electricity. Here you have to write electricity. Then what are the other energies created? In radio, we hear the sound. So sound energy is created. Then there are some lights in the radio. So light energy is also created. Then dry cells. Dry cells, what is the energy used to equipment work? In dry cells, there are chemicals. So chemical energy. So inside the dry cells, that means electric cell, inside the electric cells there are chemicals. So chemical energies need to work the dry cells. So what are the energies created? Electricity. So electricity is produced in dry cells. Then winding toys. So there are toys, we have to wind it to work the toy. I think you have seen these winding toys. So main form of energy used to equipment work, that is potential energy. That means potential. Potential means in Sinhala Vibhava Shaktiya. So don't be afraid. We are going to discuss about these all these energies later. So winding toy, the main form of energy used to equipment work is potential energy. We have to wind it. Then what are the other forms of energy created? There are some sounds in the toy and there are some lights, and also sometimes there are some winding cars. So car is moving. So we can write three types of energy. We can write sound energy and light energy and kinetic energy, because the winding car is moving. So we can write kinetic energy also. Then battery toy. The toys work by batteries. Here, this is electric energy. From the batteries are generated electricity. Then, what are the other forms of energy created? We can write these ones also. Kinetic energy, sound energy and light energy. Then, electric motor. So, for the electric motor, we need electricity. So, from the electricity, motor is working. Then, what are the other forms of energy created? So, this is the motor. Motor is rotation. So, here we can write kinetic energy. Chalaka Shaktiya. Okay, the last one I have no space to write. Winding table clock. You have seen these winding table clocks are there. So here also for the winding table clock, what is the main form of energy used to equipment and we have to wind it. That means potential energy. The potential energy is used to equipment work. Then what are the other forms of energy created? The kinetic energy and sound energy. So you have to complete this table, and now we are going to discuss about these various forms of energy. You can see there are a lot of forms of energy. So we have to learn one by one. Here I have listed out the forms of energy we have discussed in previous practical. So what are those energy? Kinetic energy, potential energy, electrical energy, sound energy, light energy, thermal or heat energy and chemical energy. So now we are going to learn one by one of these forms of energy. First one is kinetic energy. In most of the situations in our day-to-day life, we see the moving things. What are the moving things we can see? The wind. Wind means movement of air. So, wind is a moving thing. Then, flowing water. The waterfalls, rivers, streams, water is flowing. So, there is a movement of water. And moving vehicles. The moving of car, moving bicycles and aeroplanes. They all are moving. So, we have to find whether these moving things contain an energy. So, we have to do the activity 7.4. You need a ball and this is a toy car. Then you have to keep a ball in some place and we have to send this toy car towards the ball. So, you can see when the toy car touches this ball, the ball is moving. When the toy car is touched the ball is moving. So, in second picture, we need a small turbine and we have to hold this small turbine into flowing water. This is tap water. We can hold to a tap water. So, you can see the movement of the turbine. The turbine will rotate because of this flowing water. Here the ball is moved because of this moving toy car. So we can think some work is done because of this moving thing. Some work is done. So to do this work, these moving things should contain some energy. So this energy we called kinetic energy. That means Chalaka Shaktiya in Sinhala, Chalaka Shaktiya. The moving thing contains some energy. So this energy we called kinetic energy. Energy contained in a moving object, that is kinetic energy. So you know, sea waves. Sea waves mean a moving thing. moving waves, sea waves. So we use these sea waves to generate electricity because the sea waves contain kinetic energy. So this energy we use to generating electricity. Then wind. We take the energy, kinetic energy of wind to grinding grains and also pumping water. We have discussed these things when you were in grade 6. Then flowing water. The energy contained in flowing water, that is called the kinetic energy in flowing water, we take to generating electricity in hydropower stations. So moving things contain kinetic energy. So this kinetic energy is very useful. So you have to answer the assignment 7.2 in page number 92, assignment 7.2. You have to list out 5 objects which contain kinetic energy. So we have discussed these things. You can write more than 5 objects which contain kinetic energy.